They may sound nuts, but so do the Wright brothers. Now, here's Flieger and Briggs.
Yes, we are Flieger and Briggs. Welcome to It's Just Sports on 12-Ounce Sports. And you can catch all the live sports broadcasts and podcasts on Zingo TV, channel 761. Just download it for free. And, you can catch everything on 12-Ounce Sports. Use the promo code 120Z-SPORTS. And, just enjoy all this goodness of Flieger and Briggs and everybody else on 12-Ounce Sports.
I think we need to get our dumb mugs on Zingo.
No doubt about that.
Just a still photo of us hugging.
No, we will not be doing that.
I want to hug. I feel like we don't do enough hugging.
I see where he's going with this.
You and Alejandro hug. I'll take the picture. How's that?
But then your mug won't be on Zingo.
I'll take a picture of my mug not hugging anybody.
Yeah, you're too old to selfie. You can't pull that off.
No, I can do that. I'm very good at that.
Well, I'm sure you could physically do it. It's not splitting atoms. What I'm saying is a man of advanced age should not be taking selfies.
Why not?
I don't think I've ever taken a selfie.
Why?
Because it's like what teenage girls do.
Well, I understand that, but
as a general rule, when I do anything, one of
agree.
the questions I ask myself is this something a teenage girl would do? If the answer is yes, I tend to not do that.
Well,
this is the internal dialogue.
You breathe.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, Alejandro's taking selfies over there.
You seem like a selfie guy.
Huge selfie guy.
He's a teenage girl with a beard.
Yeah, I don't like selfie guy.
You guys hug. I'll take the picture.
What is it in you that makes you think people want to see just a close-up of your big dumb face?
Oh, that was sarcasm. I'm not a big selfie guy.
I think he is.
What is...
The missus likes to take pictures, like, us together, so is that a
Why don't you
plural?
bring Mrs. Finkelstein down here and take pictures of us?
She might be in for that.
Why would we want to take selfies with Mrs. Finkelstein?
It wouldn't be selfies.
Like, it'd be fine for him. It'd be kind of weird if we did it.
It wouldn't be selfies if she's taking a picture of us for the show.
So you're going to
She would be the new show photographer. Yet another position added to Asylum Sports.
More unpaid positions.
Exactly. She can bring beer and take pictures.
Wait, you're not getting paid for this?
No.
You're the talent.
Exactly. Carrying this whole broke dick operation on my back.
Yeah.
Sports, Rick. We should talk about sports.
Why?
Well, that's kind of what they do over at 12 Ounce. I'm given to understand.
Well, okay.
So, Rick, the Rona, as whoever this listener, this mysterious listener you still won't identify to me, likes to complain about, the Rona continues to try to mess up the entire NFL season and the fantasy season.
The NFL.
The NFL. Stephon Gilmore tests positive. 2 more Titans test positive. They're in a little bit of trouble. And I saw a tweet this morning from Diane Rossini that said 1 Raiders player, but you never heard any more about that. There could be some games in jeopardy this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but I did hear Ryan Tannehill may be up for suspension due to illegal practice, attending in some sort of illegal practice during the COVID. And all this kind of stuff. So I have no idea, but I'll tell you what's going on with Tennessee. If they decide that they need to forfeit, say like this Buffalo game, which is being kicked around because – then they better forfeit the Pittsburgh game. Because that, you can't just arbitrarily say, okay, this A is fine, B's not. So you give up B, but A will just move here. What if C comes along and they've still got it? They lose yet another game, but another team who has been totally disadvantaged for doing nothing wrong gets screwed? See, there's not one iota of fairness in that. They're either wrong and they forfeit these games, or they play with what scraps they can throw out on the field.
Well, that's kind of the thing I don't get. I never got that when baseball was going through this, when the Marlins and the Cardinals, and they just kind of kept postponing games. They increased the practice squad in the NFL. They had these massive taxi squads in Major League Baseball, yet they never utilized them. That's the first thing that seems odd to me. We just cancel games, move games, shuffle games around. for what purpose did we increase these rosters and do all these things if we're never going to use these people? Now, I don't buy the argument, and Ben Roethlisberger was whining about it this morning, as Ben Roethlisberger is wont to do, is whine, and the Pittsburgh media is all over it, and you're just another drunken yinzer, so I expected you to hop on that bandwagon as well. Here's the thing. Last week, I don't think the breakout with Tennessee was necessarily anything nefarious, right? It just sort of one of those deals. They had an opportunity to move the game. Now, going into this week, if all these reports are true, that they're going through the protocol and then they're holding these secret practices or illegal practice, whatever you want to call it, going against the protocols while they're in a COVID situation, and now it's increasing and whipping back up. All right, now you've done something wrong. So anything going forward can be punitive. What I don't think I would agree with is a forfeiture necessarily, in as much as you give Buffalo a win here. I wonder if you don't just do what baseball did and say, all right, we can't get all 16 games in. It'll be a win percentage type of thing. I think it becomes unfair when you start giving teams wins.
But how do you get around this when, I mean, this is football. This isn't baseball.
Right.
You know, when you're talking just a few games, out of 60, as opposed maybe a few games out of 16. And be it a yinzer or not, whether Pittsburgh was first or third in this whole order, who's ever first, I don't know. I'm just kind of weirded out by the whole thing where they're talking forfeiture now, but they still can play this team, and it counts somewhere along the line. I don't know. It's totally weird. I think they were caught flat-footed. I don't think they know what to do with this thing because, it's fine with the bye week one time.
Right, yeah, that's the problem.
But
with
now
each
we're
team,
past
you can get
one
away
with
it
Tennessee.
once.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, I don't know. I disagree with the forfeiture thing. I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm not saying they should forfeit, but if they're going to forfeit games, then they should forfeit them all.
But here's my problem. The point of a forfeiture is punitive, right? They're saying you didn't follow protocols.
Or is it? They just don't have a team to field.
Well, but that's fine. But I think you're only considering forfeiture as a punishment. I think if this is just one of them deals, or you had an outbreak, this is going to happen. And that's what I think I yelled last week on the show or the week before. I'm tired of the notion that every time somebody pops positive, Cam Newton pops positive, well, he was clearly doing something wrong because, this virus, as long as you're doing everything CNN tells you to do, it'll never find you. That's bullshit, right? So that's the part I don't like. So the forfeiture is punitive in saying, all right, there was a bad deal last week, something happened, we got a way around it. Now you're deliberately not following the protocols. We told you exactly how to do this, and you're meeting, and you're doing all these things you're not supposed to do. Now you forfeit. I think if it's just one of them deals, we add weeks at the end of the year. There's ways this can be done, right? It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be fair all the time. It's going to be weird. When you start talking forfeiture, to me, that's punitive, and it should be, I think, if everything we're hearing coming out of Tennessee is true. So then turning it back to if we all agree it was just kind of one of them deals for the Steelers game, number one, Ben Roethlisberger needs to adopt Mike Tomlin's theory of we don't care, we should want to play this football game, number one, money-wise, competitive-wise, all of that. I don't like going back to that. If Tennessee has to not play this week because they did something stupid last week and this week, then you just take the L. But what I can't justify in my head is just giving Buffalo the win. That's where I have a hard time.
Well, I think we're agreeing, but kind of in a different way, especially when you're talking about Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Those are three teams that are really right on about the same plane.
Three undefeated teams.
Well, they're three undefeated teams, but I mean, those would actually be three teams that you're talking about, obviously, in the playoff hunt in the AFC. But when it comes right down to some of these playoff positions, along with Indianapolis and maybe, whatever, throw in somebody else, I don't know, Baltimore, obviously, New England, Kansas City, maybe even whoever, I don't know. But, I mean, I guess there's going to be 7 playoff
Right.
teams. These teams probably aren't going to be on the cusp, but if they are, wouldn't you as a fan of whoever, put Pittsburgh second and Buffalo first. Say you're a Buffalo fan. You had to play the game. It ended up whatever. You guys lost one. Pittsburgh gets to win, edges you out of the playoffs.
Right.
Vice versa. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not punitive against Tennessee, but to do it partially, it's punitive against somebody else.
But then what do you do? This is going to happen with another team. It's probably going to happen with New England this week, right? They're going to end up not having the game. So it just forfeits. We have all these forfeit wins out there. Yeah, again, Tennessee did something stupid this week.
Right.
Otherwise,
do you
this is just
reschedule
going,
and extend the season?
Well, that's what I would do.
I mean, it makes sense. I agree.
I mean, at a minimum, you have a built-in week between the championship games in the Super Bowl, so you can at least add one more week. And realistically, as long as you can get the building, chances are nobody's going to be in attendance anyhow. You can kick the damn Super Bowl till May. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't like the whining out of Pittsburgh about it.
No, I don't think they should whine. I agree. I mean, I guess I'm doing some whining for them. I just think they should be consistent, whether it's Pittsburgh, Buffalo, whoever the hell it may be. Somewhere along the line, it's got to be consistency. Either Tennessee is, and like you said, probably New England's going to be in trouble. New Orleans still kind of teetering around with some of this kind of stuff.
What's up with New Orleans?
I don't know. I mean, they had somebody with it, I thought, last week.
Oh,
and
who knows?
So, I mean, it's just one of those things. I don't know. They're going to have to come up with something, I think, that's a little more consistent.
So 2 things.
No, you only get one. Pick one.
Oh, man, that's tough. Maurice Hurst is the Raider, and he was not involved with Waller's charity event, if you guys heard about that. Where
Right.
10 Raiders got fined a total of $165,000.
Oh, I did see that. Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to sneak the second thing in. The NFL has the hotels in Tampa reserved for a month.
Right. So just keep kicking it down the road.
So they have a contingency plan.
Yeah, so quit whining. Play the game.
Play the damn game.
Play the damn game. All right, so I think the big news is, and Florio was losing his mind of it. There was you remember that commercial with the Indian crying? Was it over the littering or something? Which it turns out that guy was actually
back in the 60s,
that guy was actually Italian. He wasn't even Native American. Fun fact. Don't ask me why I know that. But this was what Florio was doing today.
I think you're wrong.
As I swear to God, it's the truth.
I'm on it.
He's on it. Look it up. And when I'm right, you zip it over there.
If you're right, I'll say I was wrong.
I don't think that's true.
Watch.
You don't often say that.
That's because I'm not often wrong. Okay?
Please. Anyhow, what was I saying? Oh, Florio. So he's losing his mind, sharing over and over again that picture of Stephon Gilmore dapping up Patrick Mahomes, and now Patrick Mahomes is going to die, and we have to cancel the season. And there seems to be this notion out there that, this was an evil conspiracy between the Patriots and the league to get that game in on Monday and didn't follow all protocols. So this point being, this is just going to be a freaking mess from here on out. Because it's going to keep happening. It just is.
It really is.
I don't know what.
I agree.
So, Rick, Bill O'Brien, somehow, with Adam Gase and Dan Quinn still employed, Bill O'Brien at 0-4. You giggled. You're happy that Bill O'Brien's been fired, eh?
Well, look, I mean, Bill O'Brien, along with Adam Gase and a few other people, Dan Quinn, should be fired. They have talent on that team. And ever since the collapse against Kansas City, they've been abysmal. Now, is everything O'Brien's fault? Obviously not, but I mean...
When you're the coach and GM,
exactly,
it kind of is all your fault.
It starts at the top, right. I agree 100%. Look, I think maybe we're hitting, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe we're hitting a little reality check where Deshaun Watson isn't quite as far developed and as advanced
Oh, I don't think that's true at all.
as thought.
I don't think that's true at all.
Well, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins left, obviously, is a huge blow.
Left is
but look,
a
Will
funny
Fuller's
way.
putting up some numbers. Akins has been more than adequate at tight end, probably better than what they've had in quite a few years.
Never did carry a name tight end.
No, they really haven't.
Like to use the tight end.
Look, I mean, since Arian Foster, Johnson's probably as good as what they've had at running back. Right?
But
I mean,
not in giving up DeAndre Hopkins to bring him in.
No,
the absurdity of that, he should have been fired that day. And I think we said that on the show.
I think we all concur there.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, there's no way in hell David Johnson is worth DeAndre Hopkins. And, people said, well, DeAndre Hopkins is going to a new offense. It doesn't matter.
No, he's just catching 10 balls a week in a new offense.
It makes no difference. You heave it up in the air and he comes down with the ball.
Well, what you see is, and this is why Bill O'Brien
I know Watson's been running for his life.
Right.
And they have a lot of offensive line needs. But I don't know. There's problems on that team. And maybe Romeo Crennel coming in isn't going to solve the problems, but it may instill a bit of an attitude change. I mean, when you have J.J. Watt coming out and says something needs to change now, what's that tell you? I mean, it seems to me that management actually decided to listen.
Well, see, that's what's actually interesting about this. This is so rare, save for a great quarterback. And truthfully, still then, I can't think of an example of this happening. This happens in the NBA constantly, right? The star player decides how long the coach is going to coach and how long they're willing to be coached. You see it in other sports. The NBA is the most glaring example. Never in the NFL. In the NFL, if it comes down to a disagreement between a star player and a head coach, that player's gone. And we saw it this spring in Houston when I promise you this is what happened with DeAndre Hopkins. He didn't get along with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien shipped him out, and the coach and the ownership kept him around.
Yeah,
and now,
we also saw Mike McCarthy shipped out of Green Bay, too.
Right. Well, and that was Aaron Rodgers, star quarterback. Now J.J. Watt, so we let this happen. Now J.J. Watt steps up, has this issue. Reports coming out that they had some big screaming match in the week leading up to the Pittsburgh game, and now J.J. Watt comes out and says this is enough. He's got to go, and boom, he's gone. That's interesting. Only that you don't see that much in the NFL. That's an ownership coaching type of league, right? And the players, they'll just shuffle through them.
Right.
About the only thing generally considered irreplaceable is a franchise quarterback. It tells you, and it makes you wonder what the Houston ownership was doing when this happened with your star offensive player, not named Deshaun Watson, and you let him just ship that guy out for a bag of magic beans. It's wild. I thought it was interesting. You just don't see that very often.
Well, I do want to see Deshaun Watson kind of take this offense on his shoulders, quite frankly. I'm not blaming him, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like, I mean, it's... And I don't want to do the comparison, but look, Randy Moss came in and out of New England. Nothing really changed with Tom Brady.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not comparing the two, obviously. I mean, you take a weapon like Hopkins away, that's certainly going to be, a disadvantage. But Deshaun Watson, he doesn't look like, to me, he has that. And Will Fuller, like we said, been putting up numbers. It just doesn't seem like it's the confidence and the trust. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't see the chemistry or the flow in the offense, even though...
That may be coaching, though.
Well...
From a talent perspective, Deshaun Watson's one of the 5 to 8 best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And so how do you keep losing football games with that? Let's take Hopkins out of it. You keep talking about Will Fuller and the weapons they have on offense.
Right.
So with all this talent, why are you losing football games?
Well, you tell me.
It's the coaching. That's the point. Because it is recognizable to even a dope like Finkelstein that Deshaun Watson, even on that terrible team, is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Yet they consistently lose football games. No offense, of course.
No, I'm fine.
I don't know. I think a lot.
When? Are you going to get
We
your
always
act
have to have the
together?
Finkelstein reference, don't we?
Well, I got to get it in
We
there
have to,
somewhere.
yeah.
Since I'm getting my act together,
To get her.
To get her.
Tell him I'm right.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
Iron
told you.
Eyes Cody,
I
the
know.
actor who played an Indian shedding a tear
Yep.
at the sight of littered American landscape of
Was an Indian.
in one of television's best known and most honored television commercials. Yeah, he's 100% native.
Nah, it's not true.
So tell me.
Not true.
Apologize.
You two dopes talk. I'm going to get on this.
Apologize.
I'll do no such thing because I'm doubling down.
You're
I'm
wrong.
right on this. I'm not
Why
wrong
are
on this.
you? Why can't you admit that you were?
Because I am
no,
not
just
wrong.
admit that you were fed false
Well,
information.
that's possible.
Well, that's all we need to
possible.
hear from you. You were fed false information. Alejandro and I corrected you, and everything's fine.
News.
And
See?
And Briggs, did you know he was on Bonanza, Gunsmoke, and Rawhide?
I did not know all of those. I knew he was on Gunsmoke. Wasn't a huge Bonanza fan. Did like Rawhide. Loved Clint Eastwood, of course, but I really don't remember the episode.
He also played in Sitting Bull, Paleface, and A Man Called Horse. Which
I remember A Man Called Horse. Kind of a boring movie.
I was going to say that's...
Oh, I thought that sounded like porn to me.
No,
No.
that's A Man Called Mule.
Hold on, let me get my pen out. How are we going to explain this one? A Man Called... So, we probably shouldn't talk about porn on this show, huh?
I mean, we have before.
Well, I was doing some follow-up research on Ms.
Tiana
Trump recently. And I don't know how to say this or how deep we want to get down.
We probably
into this.
don't need to get deep, okay?
But it's just,
let's come.
Hold on, no, I got to get this thought out.
12
Not
ounce-
from
No, you really
Not-
don't have to.
12-ounce after hours.
not from you, but from Finkelstein here. So I've noticed there's this very popular genre in the various search engines I used for my research, where it's this whole new thing of young ladies getting stuck, be it in a window or in a dog door or under the bed, and then the gentleman coming in and just sort of helping himself, but it's consensual. It's the weirdest thing.
It's the weirdest consensual.
Yeah,
I've
and
ever
it
heard of.
just seems very unrealistic to me.
Yeah, I think...
I mean, the pizza boy, I get, right? The plumber, I get.
UPS.
It's just, I'm walking by and
The
this
pool boy.
and this woman got
down.
yeah. Don't do that. And this woman gets stuck in the dog door. How do you think of this?
How do you get stuck in a dog door? Like, what?
I'm assuming
Why are you climbing through a dog door?
She forgot her key. Duh. Come on.
Lift the window up and crawl in. That's
Well,
what I used to
from
do.
what I saw, they're getting stuck there too. It's a freaking epidemic.
I don't want to stereotype.
It's the COVID.
But I think
It's the
there's
Rona.
been enough alterations to most female porn stars that they are not fitting through a dog door.
Well, the young lady I saw ran into the same issue. But I mean, there's hundreds of them. Not that I watched them all, but I took note.
But you're just doing research.
Right, it was show research. You're welcome. God knows you two aren't doing anything for the show.
Well, I mean, we come up with actual facts. We just don't say, "Oh, that Indian's Italian," and believe it.
First of all, I think it's Native American, and second of all, I'm telling you, I saw it somewhere, and I'm going to prove
It's
myself
wrong.
right. Sports, Rick. Let's talk about sports.
Let's talk about some injuries.
Do we have to?
Well, I think we should because they're pretty significant when you look at some of the ones. I mean, Nick Chubb has a sprained MCL, going to be out for some time, and Kareem Hunt's a bit questionable. And they're over there looking at porn. I'm trying
I'm
to.
not looking
I'm
at
trying to
porn.
look at.
I'm doing show research. You just hold on.
I've never seen something so...
Hold on. You keep talking.
O.J. Howard has a torn Achilles. I don't really know how much impact that is for all you fantasy players out there, but
I think that's bad.
yeah, it's not good for O.J. Howard or his career, obviously. And, with all the defensive woes, here's more pressure on the Cowboys' offense. They just lost starting center Joe Looney, moving to the injured reserve list with a knee injury, and Dak Prescott's just going to have more weight on his shoulders trying to score 1,000 points because his defense can stop absolutely no one.
Well, they average giving up 37 a game.
Yeah, I think that
it
is a segue into probably the most horrific story of 2020 when it comes to the NFL. I mean, they have set a record offensively for the first 4 games of the year, and they're 0 or whatever they are, 1-3 or whatever it is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently Mike McCarthy wasn't the answer. Maybe Jason Garrett wasn't the problem. All right.
Did you happen to see, before you get going, did you happen to see Wade Phillips tweet?
No. I can't imagine Wade Phillips tweeting. He doesn't seem like
Phillips
a tweeter.
was tweeting. It says, "I'm not targeting any team." I'm paraphrasing. Not targeting any team, but this is to the NFL as a league. I am sitting here waiting. Hopefully, I can help some team win. And, of course, I had to throw a dart and say, why aren't you back in Dallas? I mean, this is ridiculous.
So you're winding stuff up. All right, I got to screech the brakes.
You
zip it back there, Finkelstein. You're on thin ice now. The Chicago Tribune, Rick, I think we can agree that's a periodical of note, don't you believe?
I would think so. It's one of the 3 largest cities in the country.
Right.
Which, for the record, mine came from the New York Times.
Of what?
And I quote, "The campaign was based on many duplicities. The first of them that was that Iron Eyes Cody," that's what this rum-dum said, right? Iron Eyes Cody, that you two dopes did your victory lap with. Hold on, I digress.
I didn't say anything.
Iron Eyes Cody was actually born Espera de Corti, an Italian-American who played Indians in both his life and on screen. Bang! Pow! Damn it.
Right in the kisser.
I await my apology.
You won't get one.
What you said I'd get my apology.
You didn't apologize to me.
I wasn't wrong.
It's just some information that you saw. He saw information. You didn't apologize to it.
He's a dope.
I just don't understand what to tell you.
He's not wrong. I am adult.
Well, yeah, I do. Okay, I'll tell you what, Rick. Rick, I apologize to you because he is a dope.
Fair enough. That I can accept. Accept that apology. All right, Rick.
He died at the age of 94.
That's a pretty good
of
run.
mesothelioma, which is what, lung cancer from like asbestos?
Yeah.
Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, that's the one like those shady attorneys do the infomercials about.
94, though. Wow.
That's a pretty good run.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't think they should even give a cause of death at 94.
He's dead.
No kidding.
He's 94, you know.
You know, we know he wasn't in a motorcycle crash, you know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
Although if he was.
That'd be a cool story, and he'd still be Italian. So anyhow, Rick, we are at the quarter pole of this season. It might not shake out that way if they get shut down for a couple of weeks, but just wondering kind of general takeaways, what we know now, some questions coming in. And I'm going to kick us off. Well, you go ahead.
No, you kick it off because I'm glad you brought it up because I actually had something that I wanted to bring up to you. So you go first.
The biggest question, I think, coming into this season, kind of the most interesting offseason story was it Brady? Was it Belichick? Can they coexist? Can they live without each other? And I'll tell you what, I think the question's been answered, and they're both independently just that good.
Sure they are.
I think if Cam Newton plays on Monday night, the New England Patriots win that football game. I honestly believe that. They're sitting there in the driver's seat. Tom Brady, lesser opponents, but man, what he did throwing 5 touchdowns at his age last week without Chris Godwin, he's looking good. As I watch this, my takeaway from this is I don't know how they didn't win 14 Super Bowls, quite honestly, because they're both that good. Tom Brady wasn't a product of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's success wasn't riding Tom Brady's coattails. Those two are just independently the deal. Just that simple. I still don't buy into the Bucs. I don't. This isn't a championship team. It's a playoff team, especially with the expanded format. But this is I don't know if they're a championship team. I don't know that New England's a championship team. But boy, these two have proved they're just fine on their own.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And you know, saying Tampa Bay isn't a Super Bowl team, you're probably right there. But I tell you what, they've got such a foundation. I mean, a front seven that on the defense that is remarkable against the run right now. And you know, I'm kind of glad you brought up Tampa Bay because that's what I was going to bring up. We had this huge argument not too long ago that Brady was washed up, and I thought he was a Hall of Famer, according to you, or not a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
No, let me talk. Don't start trying to be ignorant because you got Iron Eyes Cody correct somewhere along the line because of Finkelstein over there. Doesn't know shit about anything. All right?
Look, it was an article in the New York Times where they broke.
Who's going to believe that? Look up Wikipedia. It's always correct.
What? Oh, God. How are you both against me on this one?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that turned on you quite well.
Remember when he was King No Cell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're about guys who are against me. Well, see, how's it feel now, pal?
Well, you are forever no-selling me.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
But anyway, we had this argument that, you know, I said, you know, Tom Brady obviously doesn't have the skill set. However, he still has the smarts. And I called it a laser due to accuracy, not so much with arm strength. And you took issue with that.
A little revisionist history going on here.
But I'll tell you what, I want to just go back just this year.
All right.
Okay? First game of the year against New Orleans, they lost 34-23. Brady was 23 of 36, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Real so-so game. You were really dubious about this whole Tampa Bay thing. Well, then they turn around, they beat Carolina, which was no super feat. However, Carolina seems to be improving as we get along here.
Yeah.
23 of 35, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Not a big deal there. Then they hit Denver. Not that great of a team, but a pretty decent defense. 25 out of 38, 297, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Then all of a sudden they hit the Chargers. Another good defense, 30 out of 46, 369 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. They're getting comfortable. They are getting in a groove, and they've got a lot of talent on this offense, which is why I'm still a believer in Tom Brady because he doesn't need a cannon when you have Godwin, you have Evans, and you have everybody else on that team. And I tell you what, save for the Saints, there's nobody in that division going to beat them.
No, and I'm not even sure the Saints are that good at this point. We'll see when Michael Thomas comes back. We'll see if he's just that important to that offense or if Drew Brees has taken that step back. But I think what's interesting with Brady, the talent on that team is kind of overcoming what could be shortfalls. I mean, one thing that jumps out at me when you're listing those numbers is we've played 4 games and Tom Brady's thrown 4 interceptions, and I believe 2 of them gone back to the house. When was the last time that happened? Now, maybe, and in my mind, I don't watch all this film like you claim to watch on before that infamous fight, but it didn't seem to me they were incorrect routes. They were bad throws, bad judgment. The pick 6 last Sunday was a throw Tom Brady just didn't make before. But look, he's still Tom Brady. At his age, it's remarkable what he's doing. And this is the right situation with all that offensive talent around him where you can get away with a little bit of this stuff. Now, we talk about Tom Brady. When we talk about Bill Belichick, you're not really seeing too much effect of them without each other. Who this is affecting is Julian Edelman. He has been bad, number one. And number two, what I noticed in the game Monday, this is the first time I've sat down and watched a New England game in its entirety, he looks disinterested out there. That pick 6 was just lazy, things you just don't see from him. I don't think he's long for this team. Belichick is not going to tolerate this.
No, he won't. And
he was a product of Tom Brady, Julian Edelman.
If you rewind back in time, and I can't remember what the event was, but he was there on camera mouthing, basically pleading for Tom Brady to stay in New England. Yeah, I agree with you. He's probably about done completely.
Here, this is going to be loud.
All right.
All right.
Hey, he made it, though. at
Yeah,
least.
finally. I've been
Yeah.
coming up short lately. But I think, where was I going to go with that? I forget. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
the New England, that Edelman is probably not long in New
Yeah.
England. But before we move on, now that we got sports back pretty much every day now, if you want to support a 12-ounce sports team, there's an easy way to get in on the action. 12-ounce sports is going to hook you up with a crazy deal when you sign up and make your first deposit on mybookie.ag. That is mybookie.ag. When you make that first deposit, they'll match it up to $1,000, and you punch in that promo code 12-ounce sports. That is 12OZ sports, all caps. Apparently, it must be sensitive. So make sure it's all caps when signing up on mybookie.ag. Get your deposit matched up to $1,000. And remember, Mr. Fleeger, I'm saying it directly to you. Remember to gamble responsibly.
Oh, well, certainly. But
and on that note, it's 2020. Everybody's sensitive.
But are they cap sensitive?
oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I lost. So take that $1,000 at
Yeah.
my bookie. Go
Yeah.
ahead and make the noise. Nice. 2 for 2 tonight.
Ooh, that was nice, man. We're smooth.
Take that $1,000
Yeah.
and use it to follow my picks, as I once again just mashed.
We haven't.
It was
we
like you were.
haven't even added them up. I imagine our
Oh,
producer.
I added
I
mine.
imagine our producer has come up with all the stats for our predictions from last week.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Alejandro.
When, boy, when?
The dog ate his homework again.
I mean, if you guys
Let it
provided
roll.
me with your information,
Let it
You
roll.
could listen to the show, and we said them on there.
what show?
Exactly. So, but here it was like Rick was the poor young lady stuck in the dog door, and I was the guy. How bad I pummeled him this week as I go 10-5 straight up, 10-4-1 on the number. Rick, take that $1,000. Listen to your boy. It'll actually be $2,000 when they match it, and it's over. And no, Rick, we don't have time to sit here for you to add them all up.
I didn't even do mine.
just-
I mean, I thought Alejandro was going to do it for us.
Just take
which is pretty bad that I even thought that, and to actually think that
totally
I
on
mean, he's
you.
sitting there just swilling beer, doing absolutely nothing.
what he does. He
That's
takes
good
you to
point.
the bar beforehand and brings you beer, and so he continues to be employed.
He's a
That's
great
what they
guy.
pay me to do.
Long unexcused absences, does nothing when he does show up, but he gets you drunk, and then in the end, we know that's all that really
I
matters.
actually have a serious question for you.
Oh, so we're not going to pick games yet. All right,
No,
hold
no,
on.
not yet.
Let me do my serious face. Here we go. I'm ready.
In a division where 7 wins could realistically win it, how long of a rope do you think Kyle Allen has before Alex Smith comes in?
Assuming Smith is healthy, very short.
We
I
have
think
to
they're
assume
trying to work themselves to that.
Is it more that Ron Rivera, because I actually kind of put myself in play, wouldn't you feel bad if you put Alex Smith in a game and something happened to
Why'd you have to put
to
that
him?
out there?
You know
No.
what I mean?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't feel bad?
As Ron Rivera, I'm not.
I mean, you're a
but I'm-
horrible human being, so
No.
you're not a good example.
But listen, I'm paying this man, what's he got to be making?
20
15,
it's
18,
20-something.
$20 million
See, actually
per
making
year.
that amount of money for missing 15 years
and
with leg
him
infections.
and his doctors say, I'm healthy. I would like my $20 million, please. I'm not going to feel guilty then putting him out on the field. I'm not.
I guess I wouldn't either. You look at it that
Let me
way.
back
You're
it.
right.
I would feel awful if he got hurt again, right?
Right.
Every human being on the planet would feel awful, but I wouldn't hesitate to put him in if his doctors and he told me he was
So
healthy.
going back to that question, you have the team that's leading the division at 1-2-1. You're a half a game out of first place. I mean, you have to, as Riverboat Ron has to be sitting there like, we actually have a shot at this thing.
And that's why he's benching Dwayne Haskins.
well, exactly.
It's not,
But
became
Alex
a
Smith is
racial-
still better than Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't played for some time, he's still a better quarterback.
This is a product of, and Ron Rivera might be wrong, because here's what I think's odd about this. Here's the argument, and this is true. They didn't have the right offseason. Number one, Dwayne Haskins wasn't Ron Rivera's guy. He didn't have any praise for him even coming in when he accepted that job. They didn't have the offseason program. They still haven't figured out Ron Rivera's offense. Kyle Allen came from the same place, right? Here's the problem. I have a feeling Kyle Allen's a big reason why Ron Rivera's in Washington right now and not still in Carolina.
Right.
But set all that aside, Dwayne Haskins gets benched for three reasons. Number one, he just wasn't Rivera's guy coming in, number one. Number two, he throws a check down on 4th and goal late in that game, and I think that just infuriated Rivera. And I forget number three, but there was a number three.
There is rumblings that there's locker room issues as well.
Right, and there's probably something there too.
And since you brought up Alex Smith with Le'Veon Bell coming off IR, can we still talk about Frank Gore?
You can bring him up.
Yeah, he's going back on the bench now that Le'Veon Bell's coming back. But how long he'll be on the bench, I don't know, because at 0-4, soon to be 0-5, how soon before Le'Veon Bell is totally disengaged and Adam Gase is out of a job? And here, let's just give it to Frank because he's 160 years old and he wants to keep playing.
I think what happens, and I'm betting on this, you saw the trade in our Fantasy League of Note this week. What I'm betting happens.
You are betting
is
heavily.
Gase gets.
Let's talk about this trade.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
He's not going to let me get that point.
Nope. No. Because I want to get the trade out. Then your point is the reason you made the trade.
Okay.
Because that was the first thing that I texted you this afternoon. Because obviously you are banking on Le'Veon Bell. You traded Chark and
Todd Gurley.
Yeah, and Todd Gurley for Le'Veon Bell and Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, obviously, you made an upgrade in wide receiver.
Juju's going to end as a top 10 wide receiver.
I agree there.
Fantasy-wise.
I agree. Gurley has not been fantastic.
He hasn't been good.
Huh? But he's got 4 touchdowns, and he's actually still playing where Bell has not been. And I guess that was only my concern is Bell going to show up for 2 weeks? My toe hurts.
Well, that's always possible.
0-6.
That's always possible, yes.
That was the only question to use, and I want you to justify, in your thinking. And I'm asking him, not you.
I would take Juju Smith-Schuster for Gurley and Chark, straight up. Bell's just like not even a cherry, a sprinkle on the...
He gets it.
Maybe I'll ask him a question,
okay,
and you can answer
this.
it for him.
Go for it.
Okay? All right. What size is that shirt that you have on?
Medium.
Okay, thank you. What is the logo on that shirt? What is the logo on that shirt?
Yeah, I am interested in that. What is that?
Castaway Tattoo. Stay tuned for chaos and disorder down the road.
Well, obviously.
I don't have to get a tattoo, do I?
I got you covered.
I don't think I could pull
Can
off
I get
a
one?
tattoo.
Sure.
Can I get one?
Yeah.
Tramp stamp.
No tramp stamp.
I don't think I could pull off tattoos.
You could get a sweet face tattoo.
Do you know I had one laid out on my arm one time, but I didn't get it?
Sober up.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was right here.
Was it that naked lady like on the mud flaps of Peterbilt trucks?
No, it was the doors.
Yeah, be glad you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy with a band tattoo.
Yeah, I know. Really, it was bad. It was a cool tattoo.
Like,
however,
I don't think you'd be here right now if you had that tattoo.
Oh yeah, I would.
I'd have slushed you off as an acquaintance. From
no, that's
day
not
one.
true. I'm not Wade.
I don't think you can bring that.
16 minutes to do picks.
Oh yeah, picks. All right.
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
Hey, you know LQ Jones is 93?
Who the hell's LQ Jones?
Just saying.
Am I supposed to know who this guy is?
If you saw his face, you'd recognize him.
All right.
I mean, I know. Come here, Alejandro. Come here. Come here.
How long are we going to do this?
It doesn't matter.
We've got 16 minutes
We
left.
got as long as we need.
People need to make their money on my bookie.
Right?
.ag.
Okay.
And I'm trying to give them that value. Thursday night football, Rick, the aforementioned Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the
I'm
road.
going Bucks. I think they're
You didn't even let me give the number
It
yet.
doesn't matter.
Yes, it matters. It matters a lot.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, go ahead.
Tampa Bay laying 4.5 on the road in Chicago.
And I actually have Tampa Bay winning this game because I think they're a little bit better team than Chicago, but I have them winning by exactly 4. So I have Tampa Bay 30, Chicago 26. So I have Chicago covering.
Oh, that's a terrible pick because we saw last week Nick Foles woke up Sunday morning and realized, oh, crap, this isn't Philadelphia, and I'm not a good quarterback.
You will find out Nick Foles is going to be the
rolls.
Chicago quarterback.
Tampa Bay rolls 31-23.
You're wrong.
All right, Rick, the aforementioned Eagles in Heinz Field with 5,500 screaming fans in attendance getting 7 points. Eagles +7 in Pittsburgh.
And I don't think it's enough, Rick. They are just look. They're leading the division and they're trying to make it sound rosy, but Pittsburgh's pretty good, and they've been off for a week with their bye week now. I go Pittsburgh 31, Philadelphia 23.
Every measurable metric says the Steelers should win this game by 2 touchdowns, except for the fact that historically, for whatever reason, they struggle with the Eagles, number one, and number two, there's nothing they hate more than to put away a team they are demonstrably better than. So for that reason, the Steelers win this game, but it's going to be with a late Boswell field goal. Steelers win 30-27, but the Eagles do cover.
Okay, I'm up 2-0.
I will
Okay,
go back
who's
to
next?
the porn.
Who's next?
Panthers +2.5 in at the sorry no account Falcons.
Is there a team that you can scoff at more than Atlanta since that Super Bowl collapse? I mean, quite frankly,
They've never recovered.
They are just gruesome. I am actually very impressed with what Teddy Bridgewater's doing with Carolina. They've established the run game. He's managing the game.
Mike Davis putting up
Exactly.
Christian McCaffrey numbers.
Atlanta can stop nobody. I'm going to Carolina 27, Atlanta 24. I'm right there.
I'm right with you. I can't believe they're getting points on the road here. I am not leaving those points.
No.
And a lot of it is just they're a sorry no account franchise. I don't know who you and I could probably start in the secondary for Atlanta this week. Everybody is injured, and Teddy Bridgewater should feast here. So I have them winning. I think it'll be a little ugly, but I got the Panthers here 24-21. All right, Rick, not sure if this game's going to happen. It's off the board, but the last line I saw, in case it does happen, the Bills are laying 3 on the road in Tennessee.
And actually, I had that one as a push, so I will go. I mean, look, we're looking at the 20th and 28th total defenses in the league, which is very surprising. When you think of Buffalo and Tennessee, you think more of the defense part of the side of the ball. I'm going Buffalo. I got Buffalo 35, Tennessee 31.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close there, and I think this could just be a Buffalo. If this game happens, and I have serious doubts it's going to happen, if it happens, Tennessee's going to be missing a lot of guys. They might be missing some guys due to suspension, maybe some coaches due to suspension. If this game happens, it's going to be a train wreck for Tennessee, so I got the Bills big. All right, Rick, this number kind of surprised me. The Raiders getting 13 in Kansas City.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that's I don't know. It's a division game. Look, Kansas City's a better team. I get it. But these division games sometimes seem to even themselves out. I like Kansas City in this game, but I don't think that they're going to cover. I got Kansas City 34, Raiders 24, so I got the Raiders covering.
I actually have the Chiefs 34, Raiders 24.
There
I
you
feel
go.
the same way. And actually, I wouldn't be stunned if the Raiders won this game or the Raiders were the team that beat them. Kansas City's not going to go 16-0.
Right.
You know, they've already beat Baltimore. They've already beat New England. They don't play Pittsburgh. It's going to be a division team. It's going to be the Chargers. It's going to be the Raiders. One of these teams, maybe 2 of them, are going to jump up and bite Kansas
And here's
City.
something that a lot of people are probably not even paying any attention to. But, Derek Carr is right up there in yards passing. He has 8 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, this guy's playing some good football.
Raiders are playing good football.
Yeah, they are.
They don't necessarily have the talent to these
Right.
teams they're losing to, but they're playing good football. All right, Rick, the Cardinals laying a touchdown on the road against your Jets, the team of your youth, the
Yeah.
New York Jets.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you, in fact, they actually said that in the last Thursday night game because the Jets are so bad. There is still not a player that casts a shadow on a team like Joe Namath does because they've done nothing since Joe Namath.
Well, now they've got Joe Flacco starting, so maybe it's the tides are turning.
Look, I think this is what Arizona needs to stop that slide. I think both of us kind of jumped on the Arizona bandwagon a little bit early, but I think they're going to win. But I think the Jets cover. I got Arizona 23, Jets 18.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I got the Cardinals 30, Jets 9, and I don't know how the hell they get to 9, quite frankly.
Well, you're betting on Le'Veon Bell for one thing, and you got Joe Flacco, your guy, for years now.
That's your guy. You've been wacko for Flacco as long as I can remember. All right, Rick, the Rams laying 7.5 as they take on the team in Washington.
The Rams are a lot better than what people thought they were going to be coming into 2020. They were talking San Francisco, Seattle. Rams, Cardinals were an afterthought in that division. Here, all of a sudden, here the Rams are playing pretty good football. Washington doesn't have the horses to beat the Rams. I got the Rams 24, Washington 16, so I got them winning and covering.
If I had any guts at all, I'd pick the football team to win this game outright. I just have a feeling there's a 1-week bump with Ron Rivera going to his guy and the receivers presumably relieved to be rid of Haskins for 1 week. I think the team, God, that drives me nuts. I think Washington is competitive here. I think ultimately the Rams just have too much talent. Aaron Donald's too much. I think this thing is close late, and it's a late interception thrown by Kyle Allen because that's what he does.
Kyle Allen may die in Aaron
Donald might murder him, yes. So I got the Rams winning this thing, but I got Washington covering. I got 23-17.
All right.
All right, Rick, the Bengals and Joe Burrow getting 13 on the road in Baltimore.
This is a game that... You know, you want to see Burrow. They come off with this win. You know, gee, can they get back into this division race? I think Baltimore's got too much talent. I have Baltimore 38, Cincinnati 27. I think you can score on Baltimore, but I really think Baltimore's going to rack up some points this week.
So, but you have the Bengals covering, and I have it.
What is the spread?
13.
Oh, yeah. So I do have them covering. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I have it as well. Joe Burrow looks good. And he can play from behind. He can spin the ball, and the receivers and T. Higgins is coming through. I'm excited. Well, as a Steeler fan, I'm not that excited, but I am excited about the future of that team. And I don't think that Ravens defense has been quite what we thought it was going to be to this point. So I think they're going to be behind big early, but they'll close it out and get the backdoor cover. Obviously, the Ravens win, but I think it's only by 10. I got it 30-20.
You know, I'm sitting here. We're sitting in the studio 6 feet away from each other. We're like 12 feet away from Alejandro, and I get a text from him.
Okay.
That makes absolutely no sense. As some "We Are Back, Baby" from 2016 to Philadelphia Eagles. I have no idea what that means. So could you tell us?
You didn't actually look at the sign.
There's a sign. Look at the sign.
It's the grammar of the sign. But Philly
We're
won.
back, baby.
Were, not we are.
Okay, they forgot the apostrophe. It's right on the top. So, I mean...
No, there's no apostrophe.
So, so what? It's from 2016. What does it mean?
It goes along with what Flieger was saying.
What?
The Steelers lose to the Eagles for some reason.
We're back, baby has something to do with the Steelers losing to the Eagles. I don't get it. Explain this to me.
The score's on the bottom of the screen. They won.
He won't look at the picture.
No,
he said read the sign, so I read the sign.
The sign's funny because of the grammar part of it, but that was the last time that they played.
I like that song.
I don't know.
Anyways,
it says on. Philadelphia.
You have 6 minutes left.
Yeah, Jaguars +6 in Houston.
You know what? I think Romeo's going to...
Next time, do you want me yell across?
I think Romeo is going to give them the spark that they... No, just send something that makes sense, okay? He's going to give them the spark. Houston gets their first win. Houston 27, Jacksonville 23.
That irritates the hell out of me, Rick. That was my pick. It was the bump
They're a
from
better
the new
team,
They
Rick.
are,
I mean, I
they
don't
are.
think it's an upset. They're
And it's the
better
relief.
team.
If there was this coup against Bill O'Brien,
Right.
now he's gone. Now they play free. I agree. I don't even think it's close. I got the Texans 27-17.
But I still like Minshew Mania. I mean, he still has a little bit of swag to that team.
Oh, yeah, I like him.
and they're competitive enough. And
But
so, I mean,
not
in that
this-
division, that's all you have to be.
All right, Dolphins getting 8 in San Francisco.
Well,
Ooh, look at this.
San Francisco is beat to death. I am going Miami behind Fitzmagic. 26, San Francisco 24.
Seems like they're getting healthy as San Francisco is going to get. You don't lose to 2 just dog teams in a row at home. I do get whipped up in
You
the
don't think
Fitzmagic
they do,
myself.
but you never know, right?
I could watch you smash those. What's Santa have to do? You hit the wrong button,
You
didn't
have
you? And
5
now you're
minutes.
looking at me knowingly
I
like you
did.
meant to do
No,
that.
I hit the wrong button because I still think I'm dead half the time because this thing doesn't work.
Just
There we
touch
go.
it. Don't try to put your hand through it. Anyhow,
Miami 26, San Francisco 24.
I do have the Dolphins covering this game, but I think the 49ers win it 26-21. This was the most surprising line of the week to me, Rick, is the Colts are 1.5-point favorites in Cleveland.
I wasn't totally shocked by that. Actually have Indianapolis winning that game. That defense is, I hate using the term because it's like a cliche anymore, but quote unquote elite. I mean, these guys are tough. And, that air show that we saw with Cleveland last week, look, Odell Beckham scored on that weird reverse. They could have lost 15 yards just as easily as score a touchdown. Yeah, I'm going Indianapolis 24, Cleveland 23.
I actually think this is going to be the craziest thing said on any airwaves all week. I think that
you need a drum roll?
No.
Okay.
But I think that Cleveland offense is going to be better without Nick Chubb. I think Kareem Hunt has looked that good, but you have to feed both of them. I think Kareem Hunt goes wild in this game.
I think Kareem Hunt, I agree with you, he is the better back.
They're a better team with both of them.
I don't think they're going wild against Indianapolis. I think that defense is that good. That's why I've had the score that low, actually.
You said that, but you're wrong. Browns win outright 27-24. All right, we got to get through 4 more games in 3 more minutes.
That's easy. We got tons of time.
Giants plus 9.5 at Dallas.
As bad as Dallas's defense
They get right
is,
this week, right?
I mean, this is a division game, and I don't think this is going to be a total blowout, but I'm going Dallas 37, the Giants 27, which means Dallas wins and covers.
Yeah.
Or no, the Giants would actually cover. They're 11, right?
No, it's 9.5.
Oh, 9.5. Yeah, okay.
How do you get 11 from 9.5?
I thought you said 11. I'm sorry.
Cowboys big 34-17. I just hope Daniel Jones survives this season.
With the passing yards the Cowboys give up, I actually think Danny Dimes goes big this week.
If he doesn't die because the
He may.
offensive line is that bad.
He may die.
All right, not sure if this game's going to happen with the Broncos getting 11 in New England.
That's not enough.
No.
I'm going New England 34, Denver 20.
Actually, apparently it is enough because I have the Patriots 22-13. I don't know how I got there, but by God, I'm
You're
going to
wrong.
stick with it. All right, Sunday Night Football, the Vikings getting 7 in Seattle.
Well,
You don't get 2
Kirk Cousins leads Minnesota Vikings to a second impressive win over the Seattle Seahawks, 27-25.
That's just foolishness. Russell Wilson is on another plane right now. Quit hitting your dumb drum roll. Again, take this thing away from
Real
me.
quick with the over being at 57.5.
I'd go over 67.5 in this game. It's almost, if you dopes would let me talk. Anyhow, Seattle wins this thing. Kirk Cousins cannot play in prime time. Seattle wins and covers 33-24. And Monday Night Football, if you could pull, he's got beer all over his chin. Good God. Thank God it's on. 1 minute to go. Chargers plus 7.5 in New Orleans, if you don't mind. And then please wipe off your chin.
Saints 30, Chargers 23.
Saints 29, Chargers 27. I have the
No
Chargers
drum roll.
covering. The Saints still win. It's not an upset. Dope.
What did you just say?
I said the Saints 29, the Chargers 27. Saints win, Chargers cover.
I still think you said Chargers 29.
Hey, real quick, look at that picture I sent you.
I don't even know how to do the outro here. He's still got beard dripping off his chin whiskers. So if you want more of this crap, at Asylum Football on Twitter. It's just sports123 at gmail.com. Asylum Fantasy Sports.
Jerry Lewis
and
to
of
my
course,
Dean
at
Martin.
12OZ
We'd be
Sports.
all right.
Until next time, we'll see you. Just
He's
say
like
take care.
freaking
Just
Jim
say take care for the
Conway
love of God.
To my Harvey Korman, take care.
Hasta luego.
I don't think you get a thing going out.
He can do whatever he wants.
Drunk.